just 3 days before my wedding. Something happened that shook my whole world. I was ready to say I do to the man I had prayed for, but then, God said no. And he said it loud. My name is Tolu. I had loved Daniel for 3 years. He was handsome, funny, and full of dreams. Everyone said we were perfect for each other. Even our pastor smiled every time he saw us in church. But something strange started happening. Something I didn't understand at first. Began with a dream. I was standing at the altar in my white gown, smiling. Daniel stood beside me. The church was full. Everything was perfect until I heard a loud voice say, "This is not my will." I woke up shaking, but I told myself, "It's just a dream. Maybe I'm nervous." Pushed it aside. The next day I had the same dream. Only this time I wasn't standing beside Daniel. I was standing alone. Crying. I told my best friend, Sandra. She looked worried. "Tolu, maybe you should pray more. Sometimes dreams are not just dreams." I laughed it off. I was in love. I had already bought my dress. The wedding invitations were sent. There was no turning back. But the dreams didn't stop. They became clearer. Stronger. One night, I saw Daniel in a dark room, holding something behind his back. I couldn't see what it was, but I felt afraid. Then I heard the voice again. "If you marry him, you will cry more than you smile." I woke up in tears. I prayed harder. "God, speak to me clearly. If you're trying to stop me, show me without a doubt." That night I had no dream. Instead, something else happened. Daniel came to visit, and I decided to ask him a serious question. "If God ever told you not to marry me, would you still go ahead with the wedding?" He laughed. "God wouldn't say that. He knows we're meant to be." But I noticed something. A flicker in his eyes, like he was hiding something. For the first time in 3 years I felt a distance. A cold silence crept in between us. Something wasn't right. And then, just 72 hours to our wedding, I got a message that turned everything upside down. It was from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Amaka. Her message read, "Hi Tolu. I know this is sudden, but I believe you deserve the truth. Daniel and I have been seeing each other for 6 months. He told me you were just his family's choice. I only found out about the wedding today." My phone dropped from my hand. I couldn't breathe. I sat on the floor, shaking, confused, shattered. The dreams. The voice. Everything started to make sense. This was the moment I realized. God had been trying to save me from pain. And I had almost walked into it with my eyes wide open. I had only 3 days to make the hardest decision of my life. What would you do if God said no to the man you loved with all your heart? The dress was ready. The hall was decorated. Friends had traveled from far places. But the bride, she was locked in her room, crying, praying, and breaking inside. Because something deep in her spirit said, "Don't go." And this time, she listened. I sat alone in my room, reading Amaka's message over and over again. It felt like my heart had been thrown into fire. My chest hurt. My mind was racing. How could he? Why didn't I see it? Was I just an option? I wanted to scream, but I couldn't find the strength. I wanted to ask him why, but I was afraid of what he might say. That night I didn't sleep. Instead, I knelt on the floor, lifted my hands, and said just 3 words. "Lord, help me." I didn't ask for a miracle. I didn't ask for a man. I asked for strength to obey God. And he gave it. When I told my parents the wedding was off, they stared at me like I had lost my mind. "Tolu, stop this joke. The guests are already arriving. We have spent everything on this wedding. Can't you forgive and move on?" I understood their pain. But I had peace, for the first time in weeks. "Mummy, Eddie, I love you both. But this wedding must not happen. God has spoken. And I have seen the truth. Please don't make me walk into a life I'll regret." There was silence, then tears. But they agreed. They saw the peace on my face. A peace that no makeup or music could fake. Later that day, Daniel came. He was angry. So, you're just going to throw everything away? Because of some girl's message? I looked at him. Really looked at him. For the first time, I saw the lies in his eyes. The fear of being exposed. No, Daniel. I'm walking away because God said a no. And now I see why. He paused. For a second, he looked like he was going to argue again. But then he turned and walked away without another word. That was the last time I saw him. On what should have been my wedding day, I stayed indoors. No gown. No aisle. No music. Just me, my Bible, and my healing. It rained that day. Not heavily, just soft drops like the tears I had cried. That day, I didn't wear a wedding dress. But I wore courage. I didn't hold a bouquet. But I held on to God. I didn't walk down the aisle. But I walked into freedom. I thought I lost everything. But I didn't know that God was about to give me something better. Because when God says, no, it's not rejection, it's protection. 1 year later, I looked back and smiled. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I now understood what I was saved from. God didn't break my heart. He rescued it. And in that no, He was writing a better yes that I couldn't see yet. After the cancelled wedding, life didn't magically become easy. There were whispers. There was gossip. Some people said I was too deep or too dramatic. But I didn't care anymore. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't trying to please people. I was learning how to please God. I started a small women's Bible group. Every Friday evening we gathered broken girls just like me to heal, to share, and to grow. And slowly joy returned. I didn't chase love anymore. Chase peace. Then something surprising happened. One day, after a Bible study meeting, a young man walked up to me. Not flashy, not loud, just kind, calm, and respectful. He said, "Tolu, I've been attending your Friday sessions. I admire your strength, your heart for God. And I'd love to know you more if you'd let me." My heart skipped. But this time I didn't rush. Prayed. Waited. I listened, not just to my feelings but to God. And for the first time in a long time, I heard a gentle whisper. "This is my will." 1 year later I walked down the aisle. Not in fear but in faith. Not in pressure but in peace. He wasn't what I dreamed of. He was better than what I dreamed of. Sometimes God blocks what you want to give you what you truly need. If He says a no, trust that a greater yes is on the way. Dear friend, maybe you're where I was. Confused, broken, and hearing a quiet no from heaven. Don't fight it. Don't rush it. God sees what you can't. He knows what you don't. If He says a no to someone or something you love, it's not to punish you. It's to protect you. Let Him write your story. His pen is perfect. If this story touched your heart, please don't just scroll away. Subscribe to this channel for more life-changing stories that are real, raw, and filled with the power of God's love. Like this video if you believe God's plans are better. Share it with someone who might need this encouragement today. And drop a comment below. I trust God's no, because I believe in His yes. There's more to come. And remember, you're not forgotten. You're being redirected.